Hi teacher, let me introduce myself. My name is Yareti and I will talk about the method of mummification. The methods of embalming or treating the dead body that the ancient Egyptians used is called mummification. Using a special process, the Egyptians removed all moisture from that would not easily decay. It was important in their religion to preserve the dead body in as lifelike a manner as possible. So successful were they that today we can view the mummified body of Egyptian and have a good idea of what he or she looked like in life 3,000 years ago. Mummification was practiced throughout most of early Egyptian history. The earliest mummies from prehistoric times probably were accidental. By chance, dry sand and air preserved some bodies buried in shallow pits dug into the sand. About 2600 BC, during the 4th and 5th dynasties, Egyptians probably began to mummify to death intentionally. The practice continued and developed for well over 2,000 years into the Roman period, 30 BC until 364 AD. Within any one period, the quality of mummification varied, depending on the price paid for it. The best prepared and preserved mummies are from the 18th through the 20th dynasties of the New Kingdom. ca. 1570 until 1075 BC and include those of Tutankhamen and other well-known pharaohs. It is the general process of this period that shall be described. Now, my team Angel and Ricardo will talk about how is the process of this method.
The mummification process took 17 days. Special price work in embalmers, threading and wrapping the body. Beyond knowing the correct rituals and prayers to be performed in various stages, the press also needed and detailed knowledge of human anatomy. The first step in the process was the removal of all internal parts that might decay rapidly. The brain was removed with carefully interesting special hooked instruments up through the nostrils in order to pull out bits of brain tissue. It was a delicate operation, one which could easily disfigure the face. The embalmers then removed the organs of the abdomen and chose a strap and could usually made on the left side of the abdomen. They left only the hair in place, believing it to be center of a person's brain and intelligence. The other organs were preserved separately, with the stomach, liver, lungs, and intestines placed in special boxes on hearts today called canopy jars. These were buried with the mummy. In later mummies, the organs were threaded, wrapped, and replaced within the body. Even so, unused canopy jars continued to be part of the burial ritual. The embalmers next removed all moisture from the body. This they did by covering the body with natron, a type of salvage and discrete drying properties, and by placing additional natron packets inside the body. When the body had dried up completely, embalmers removed the internal packets and lightly washed the natron of the body. The result was a very dried out but recognizable human form. To make the mummy seem even more lifelike, sunken areas of the body were filled out with lighting and other materials, and false eyes were added. Next, the wrapping began. Each mummy needed hundreds of jars of linen. The priest carefully wound the long strips of lining around the body, sometimes he even wrapping each finger and two separately before wrapping some prayers and magical words written off some of the lining strips. Often the priest placing a mask of the person's face between the layers of heat bandage. At several stages, the form was coated with warm resin and the wrapping resin once again. At last the priest wrapped the final cloth or shroud in place and secured it with lining strips. The mummy was complete. The priests preparing the mummy were not only ones but studying this time.
Hi, I am Angel. Although the tomb preparation usually had begun long before the person's actual death, now there was a deadline, and the craftsmen, workers, and artist workers quickly. There was much to be placed in the tomb that a person would need in the afterlife. Furniture and the statues were readied, while paintings of religious or daily scenes were prepared. A list of food or prayers finished. Through a magic process, these models, pictures, and lists will become the real thing when needed in the afterlife. Everything was now ready for the funeral. As part of the funeral, priests performed a special religious rite at the tomb's entrance. The most important part of the ceremony was called the opening of the mouth. A priest touched various parts of the mummy with a special instrument to open those parts of the body and the sense enjoyed in life and needed in the afterlife. By touching in the instrument to the mouth, the dead person could now speak and eat. He was now ready for the journey to the afterlife. The mummy was placed in his coffin or coffins in the burial chamber on the entrance sealed up. Such elaborate burial practice might suggest in the Egyptians were preoccupied with thoughts of the dead. On the contrary, they began early to make plans for their death because of their great love in life. They could think of no life better than the present, and they want to be sure it will continue after death.